I have things that I want to do, and I haven't had that feeling in over 100 years. I also have ways of keeping you guys safe to the best of my ability, and I swear to you I'll die before I let one of you do.
Thanks.
See, Maeve walks over and sits down in the sand next to you. And I will certainly try and keep us from getting to that point. And just kind of pats Mammoth on the shoulder.
You guys are all so much bigger than me.
No, but we're not. That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to show you. Your heart, your understanding of the world is so much bigger than us. We've complicated it to so much degree that we can't even express it. You see it so simply and clearly, we can't even see the truth anymore.
All right. But I think that if you guys didn't know what you were doing, then I wouldn't know what I was doing, and then we wouldn't be anywhere.
Oh.
See, Maeve kind of pats my head. Very logical, yes. See, you do use your brain. I think
Sometimes.
Mammoth is definitely one of the smartest one of us. And just kind of looks around to everyone else nodding like, yes, 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 we agree, we agree.
Reese smiles very warmly at
In his
Mammoth,
own way.
gives him a reassuring head nod.
And when Mustang comes back, he's dead. Moving on.
Try. He's already dead.
That you know of. Hunch crouches down.
Hunches, crouches.
Hunch crouches.
There was supposed to be a slash in between there.
No,
Love
it's
that.
so much better as one word.
No, I like it as one word much better.
Reese stands, letting go of the two's hands, and walks a few steps away, brushing off the sand. Are we still on the beach?
Uh-huh. Yeah, this whole thing is a beach episode.
Yeah, she just brushes it all off and gestures to Maeve. Well, let's get going.
All right. Let's go talk to Laura.
Yeah, I hate sand.
Which
Don't say
as
it.
Prophet's course, it just gets everywhere. As a small note before we move on, Mustang, did you ever look at that note? Or no?
Once
are you
they're out,
holding on to it?
no, once they're a good ways away from the seedy area, he will open it and just try to get a feel for how long the note is.
It's
or if there's, like,
extraordinarily short.
Okay. Well, he'll just read it then. If it's not long, then he'll
And you wait for the group to walk away and then read it, correct?
Oh, he'll kind of straggle behind everyone. He's feeling kind of down on his luck here that he might not have ended up with the most ideal set of associates for what his goals are.
You don't know.
All right. You quickly unfold the small ribbon and then open up the piece of parchment. And there's only a single sentence printed out in extraordinarily fancy writing. Would you like me to say it out loud, or would you like me to DM it to you?
No. Let's keep it a secret. I love my secrets.
Gaslight girl boss, it is. Copy paste. I'll post that in. What is it called? The coal corner. There
Mustang's coal corner.
I love secrets. Secrets are my favorite.
Oh boy!
And I will let I'll let that simmer.
He will put the note in his pocket, and suddenly he looks happier. Not so downtrodden.
So Mustang is a smoke dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he have any hair?
You don't know, he hasn't taken off his hat.
Fair. Alright. Sorry, Dom. Keep going.
No worries. You asked the important questions. We need to know. Maeve begins to lead you all into the southern end of the Dreaming City, into one of the smaller districts, this majority housing more than anything else, and begins kind of walking past these like almost condo-like houses. A whole lot of the same kind of uniform buildings, not a whole lot of like interesting architecture, just very basic, and a whole lot of them stacked on top of each other. The overall neighborhood probably houses anywhere between 300, 500 people. And as she begins taking you all through the number of different buildings, kind of passing by a few numbers, you eventually find yourself stopping at one smack dab in the middle of the district, almost like at the direct center at house number 81. A very plain white marble exterior. You can see it's been worn down, clearly showing that this has been here for quite some time. And the overall structure is extraordinarily simple. There's no extravagant designs. It's a one-story home, and there's no like porch, patio, anything. You see, there's just a few small potted plants outside, and there is just a single wooden door leading in with no windows on the front of the house. Who would like to go up and knock? Because I will not RP with myself as Maeve for tonight.
Reese definitely will take the lead, knock on the door. Sort of bone hand, so it's got a very like clicky rap.
Damn.
I wonder how that would sound, yeah. You sent a few knocks on the door, and there's a pause before you hear. Who's there?
My name is Risha Emos. I am a vassal, and we have a paper regarding a contract that I would like to discuss.
One moment. And you hear cling, 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 cling. You hear about 10 locks get undone for the doors ever so slightly put ajar. And you see a very fair looking, a kind of young human woman, probably assumed to be in her maybe late 30s, early 40s, kind of wearing a elaborate black dress, not wearing a whole lot of jewelry or any sort of extravagant designs, just very simple clothing, and currently has a pair of large round glasses resting on her face, as she kind of peeks her head around the corner to greet you. And she sees all of you there, and goes, "Oh, and she looks around the corner, looks both ways. What is this flyer about?"
It is a private investigator wanted ad, and we are interested in hearing more about the contract. Has to do with the capture.
And where did you get where did you get this?
A trusted source.
What trusted source?
She looks over to Mustang.
Vince.
And you see her face kind of drops for a second. Come in. And she opens the door ever so slightly, just enough so you can file in one by one. But you can see she seems a little like uneasy of the amount of people that are coming in. And for those of you who are interested, this is Laura Jenkins. And one by one, you all
Hey,
file
Laura.
in.
Damn.
One by one, you all file in, and she closes the door behind you. And this is a very tight fit. The entire house is maybe 40 by 40 feet. It is packed full of furniture. You can see her bedroom and her kitchen are right next to each other. Despite it being like a pretty decently large floor plan, there is like a number of like different tables, desks, almost mounted cork boards with just piles of papers attached to them. You can see a thread running along multiple pieces of paper, connecting them together. Very much beautiful mind has exploded inside of a house kind of mess. And you see she takes a seat at one of like the corners of the room and gestures for you all to come sit by her. I'm sorry, I only have 2 chairs, so the rest of you will have to stand. But as you probably read, my name is Laura. Laura Jenkins. I put up the ad with Vince roughly 2 weeks ago. I was concerned that no one would actually pick it and come around to see after the details of what you'd be investigating were announced. But a large number of you are here. I apologize. I don't have a lot of gold to go around, but I can still promise the 500 reward. Just not individually, as a group pot, I guess you could say. Are there any quarrels with that?
Not particularly worried about the cost. I think some of us have reservations about, let's say, the number of heralds that we might be facing during this project.
Right. To give you some background, and she looks at the windows, goes, one moment. Quickly closes the windows leading out the back of her house, closes the shutters, goes back and locks the door with all 10 locks, and comes back. And in a very hushed voice, which you all have to kind of like lean in to hear her. You hear her go, my late husband was one of the city guard. He was unawakened like myself, but he was very dutiful. He was on the force for just under 50 years and one of the hardest workers known to man. He stepped outside his boundaries about 2 months ago and tried to take a case related to the Heralds. He was doing some investigation into their latest reported robberies, both on the island and in nearby dwellers, and it brought him to the northwest side of the island, where he found, or at least he reported back to the city that there was a hidden dock being used to smuggle in and out of goods. Turned out to be a dead end. There was no actual evidence. They threw the case away, simply labeled it as useless information. A few weeks ago, kept insisting that he wanted to check it out more and more, and he swore that it was tied to something deeper, and, well, and she gestures to the large amount of mess that is kind of connected together with various different red strings around the room. He went a little crazy about it. He went from dock to dock, searching for free men, suspected to be working with the Heralds. And one night he didn't come back. Last that he told me that he was going the same one that he first suspected on the north side of the island, but I told him that he should not go alone. I don't know much, but I do know this, the bare minimum. And she pulls off one of the sheets from the wall, kind of unpins the string from it. He apparently found out the name of one of the three individuals. He said that they were masquerading as a local businessman, running a local inn here. He tried to see them while they're at work, but he checked the inn and they were registered as the worker but weren't actually present. He said that he never saw them on the day or night shifts. No one fitting the description left or entered the building, and it was beyond suspicious, so he thought that maybe one of the docks had an ulterior entrance that led into the establishment, and that was where they were running their smuggling ring. And he believed that this gentleman was a higher ranking member of the Heralds. I believe he called him a captain, or he never officially wrote it down because it was just a theory, but he said that he seemed to be a different man compared to others. Stronger, smarter, all that kind of thing. So he assumed that he was a stronger awakened, that he was one of the upper echelon. Obviously, I have not been able to confirm any of this, as I've been on my own ever since he hasn't come back.
Which inn was it?
Yes. And she starts rifling around a few papers. That would be Cassidy's Nook. It's a well-traveled, popular establishment.
She looks over to Maeve. You know of it?
Maeve kind of scratches the top of her head. I may have been there once or twice with my family, but it doesn't ring any bells for being one of our regular places.
Find it. She just nods her head a few times.
What was your husband's name?
See, she lowers her head. Christopher. His name was Christopher.
He was a good man.
Silently nods her head. I don't know whether he's alive or dead. But I've been assuming the worst, so I reached out to Vince. And you see her voice kind of begins to get a little trembly. He's been a good friend of ours. He's done right by my husband a number of times, and my husband has covered for many of his mistakes in the past, so I asked him for help, and he said he couldn't personally look for it, but he'd try and get the best of the best to help find my husband. And, well, here you are. Even if you can't bring these men to justice, just knowing... There's a slight pause. Just knowing would be better than having to constantly doubt myself.
Reese hangs her head a little bit and her eyebrows are furrowed. For all the lightness that it casts, love does throw dark shadows, doesn't it?
She silently nods. This is all that we have. We were planning on leaving soon. He wanted to get me away from here. Go on some sort of vacation or escapade, as he said. But really, I think he just wanted to find somewhere new, somewhere safe, away from this madness. She pushes a large sack of gold forward. If you'd want some money now, just to confirm that we're good for it, please, by all means, you can take half, but this is all that I have, I'm afraid. I know this is asking a lot because of their position in the world. Heralds are very dangerous. The worst of the worst. But I'm afraid I can't offer much else.
So, are you wanting to know what happened? Or are you wanting revenge?
I want to know whether my husband is all right. And I want to know that if he isn't, that those men are brought to justice for what they've done.
When did he leave?
He left about a month ago. I haven't heard a single word since.
He's not a vassal.
No, he was just a town's guard. He would patrol the southern border, protecting the docks from smugglers and stowaways and such.
Have you inquired with any of his people that are above him?
I don't know any of his co-workers or anything related to his work. He worked under a private branch of security. I don't know exactly what benefactor in the city provides it, but he was only guarding certain docks. He wouldn't be on a full patrol like people who worked for the council would be. So when I came to them with this information, they said that it wasn't enough to launch a full-scale investigation, and that they would put it on the list of things to look into in the future when they had the manpower, excuse me. Since they can't confirm nor deny that they are heralds, they just... they can't... And she just kind of begins to continue to stutter off.
If we find out that he's passed on, what then?
I would like you to try your best to find those men and bring them in for proper punishment.
And if they're heralds, under whose judgment?
And she looks at you. The council would do with them as they saw fit. Imprisonment for life, or depending on who or what they are, for terms of the Herald's hierarchy, maybe even death. But I don't hold the same values as my husband. If he passed on, and you see fit, I would like if their heads rolled.
Reese smiles a little bit. I'll
Good.
see fit to punishment if necessary.
And she kind of sniffles. Good men don't deserve to die like this. Chris never committed a single wrong in his entire life. He was one of the best men I've ever found. And if they took him away from me, I don't know what I would do. Please. Do what you can.
Rictus will walk over to the boards that has all the papers and the strings, and he'll try to see if he can make any sense of what's up there.
Sure, make me an investigation check.
Oh.
Natural 20.
What?
Woo-wee. Well,
Blew that out of the
well,
water.
well.
Case
Okay,
closed.
details.
Let me just pull this
The
shit real quick.
PI.
Well, for one, you see that this man, well described as a unawakened town guard, you know, now that you have gone through your second awakening, have gotten almost a bit of enlightenment. The intelligence of the average man is not that high. It is actually rather low compared to most awakened.
Mm-hmm.
This is extremely impressive work for an unawakened man. It goes into great detail on the months that this man spent trying to both stalk and investigate these free men. The descriptions fit that... Hold on, let me pull the exact descriptions. Descriptions fit of large human males, One is rather familiar, not to you, but it does fit one that is very easily described in game visuals, of a blonde-haired and golden-eyed man, uh, very built frame, dressed in a suit and, well, last seen in a suit, and at a very high stature of 6'7". The other two were also described with similar builds, one of black hair and one of white. One probably assumed to be in his 70s, one in his early 30s, and one in his late 40s. You like read into this narrative essentially that is built up that he originally stumbled across these men as they legally entered the port with all the proper documentation, but he had an air of suspicion because of what they were bringing in or what they had labeled as their merchandise did not fit the amount of crates that they were bringing in to the tavern.
Okay.
They originally stated that they were an outside company that were building in, a new wing of Cassidy's Nook, and they had timber supplies. They were carrying a number of both fruit and meat goods for sale, and were essentially construction workers who were bringing in a large load of both merchandise for sale and a lot of the materials for building a building. He listed amongst their crates that the amount of stone and marble that they were had listed did not fit the the weight limit of what the ship was carrying, as they had to use cranes to unload the crates. And he said they appeared to be that the men were some kind of enhanced and or awakened, as they easily carried what looked like to be thousands of pounds of weight um, back and forth between the building and the dock. He noted that one in particular he was sure there was something wrong with was the man who was doing the majority of the talking, and was the only one that gave a name that he wasn't quite sure whether it was a fake one or not, but the name that he was given was Amos Verdon. And the name didn't match up with any of the known heralds that have been found over time, but the route that this man traveled, both when he was going back and forth between the dock and when he was working on construction, also seemed to be rather iffy. He was not taking the same route every time. He was checking his shoulder constantly. He said that he did not look nervous, but he looked careful, and went into detail that he found him not only visiting Cassidy's Nook, but equals sus. Not only do you notice that he was going to Cassie's Nook, but he was also going to Garen's Crossing on multiple occasions. And while that was out of Chris's patrol route, he made a few visits when he was off work, and he said that he was normally conforming with a number of other individuals in which he did not know, but all seemed to be within a larger group in which he suspected to be related to the Heralds, because it is rare to find outward working artificers in the city. Most of them tend to be working within guilds, their own shops, or they have some sort of relationship to the council, as it's extraordinarily profitable work. But he said that there was a man who was missing a leg and had a mechanical prosthetic. And it appeared to be that they were having a detailed conversation that he overheard parts of it, about some sort of construction that was in its very early development, but had great promise, and showed similar results to AD, which is an acronym that's commonly used for arcane detonations.
Oh wow.
Or the original arcane detonation is what normally referenced to.
Fuck.
This continued for a number of months. He could only limit himself to when he was off duty for following them.
Mhm.
And the information gets less and less and less down the line. But you do see almost like a Eureka paper that was kind of stuffed to the side, which was his last entry. And it just says, "I was right." And the string that is attached to it is the one that is describing the Northwest dock and how it could potentially be leading into an underground network that leads to Cassidy's Nook. That's the gist of what you get. There's so much more in terms of like broad information, but the important key parts is he very much believes that there is some sort of underground trading system or underground facility that is being built underneath the island, as there's way more materials needed for the expansion on Cassidy's Nook than what they originally had listed on the ship, and that these 3 men were some sort of either escorts or envoys of the Heralds to make sure that the operation went through smoothly.
Okay. I hope I took good notes on all that.
If you have any specific questions,
Okay.
let me know now, because Natural 20 definitely can earn you a few.
I think I've got it all.
Okay.
I think.
And Almost Verdant describes the gentleman in with the yellow hair, which you can already find in game visuals.
Yeah.
The other 2, let me see if I can pull them up in my folder of endless NPCs. Do not have names, but were seen following around him.
Now, did we see that guy earlier,
You guys
or
did
was
not.
it
The
okay?
only person that actually saw that man was Mustang.
Mustang? Okay,
But
that's what
he
I
did
thought. I
not.
just wanted
Yeah,
to.
he did
Very
not
quiet
peek around the
now.
corner. Yeah, he did not peek around the corner. So the only one that actually could see him was Mustang. 'Cause the other 2 had already passed on.
Okay. Okay.
And where's the Asavan? Says you are. Okay. And unknown names for these guys, but the rough sketches that you can see based off of this is boom. And boom.
Gotcha.
The second one could be almost the first one's brother. Look there. That's funny.
So while Rictus is doing all of this, anyone else want to do anything? Ask any other questions?
I would have just walked over to Rictus and asked what he saw, hoping that he might elaborate as he is deducing.
This is fascinating. He's got quite a bit of stuff up here. And then he kind of tells Reese the information that he's found about the descriptions of the guys, give him more detail about the blonde hair, gold-eyed man, very built frame, wearing a suit. kind of presented himself with a high stature. He really shows her the Eureka note, saying how he was right and how the string points towards the northwest dock and that it might lead to an underground network that leads to Cassidy's note.
Nods her head as she looks at all the information on the wall.
This might be enough we could do something with.
It's definitely a lot to go off of. Just really has to do with whether or not these companions of ours are willing to investigate somebody with such power.
What I was about to say, it sounds like this could run pretty deep. We might get in over our heads.
Mustang is going to kind of look at Reese. But not say anything, but just looking at her from across the room. If smoke could sweat, he's sweating.
Sorry, I'm just writing.
You're so good. There's so much to take notes on here. I've been like furiously typing this whole time.
I've been trying not to type so loud that y'all could hear it.
Can I just get the name of the... I have it written down here, but I scribbled it, and I don't think I spelled it right anyways. The name of the inn.
Oh yeah, Cassidy's Nook. I'll just post it in general for you.
Cassidy's Nook. Okay.
Cassidy's Nook, yeah.
I wrote it. I don't even know what I spelled there.
And did we say it was just an inn, or was it like a tavern, whole 9 yards shebang?
They said that it was an inn. So it both had like it both had like a bar where you can get like food and drink at, which was a common place for a lot of people on like the lower side of Paradise Peak. But there's also somewhere that you could stay.
Okay.
She sort of gestures towards the wall and looks over her shoulder to Laura. Who's Cassidy?
I'm sorry?
Cassidy's Nook. Is it named after the owner?
I'm not too sure. I haven't been there too many times to know.
She sort of nods her head and looks back at the wall. Leans over to Rictus. That's some pretty suspicious activity being hosted at that inn.
Very much so.
Do you think the owners would know of its goings-ons?
I can't say for sure. I mean, I would think they would know about some underground passages that's, leading to their inn. But it could be one of those, it's just maybe just the one guy that owns it knows it and nobody else does. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Reese sort of has a quick spin on her heel towards the rest of the group, away from the wall. So, do we have enough information? Do you guys want to do this? You want to help this poor woman and find her husband?
Sure.
Sure thing there, bud.
Do we have to decide right now?
Are you wanting to talk about it more?
Well, see, like Rictus, perhaps he's a little more willing than I, but I do have some skin in the game here. I've got loved ones elsewhere that could easily be found by these people, and that one, and he's going to point to the one who he saw in the alley on the spread of papers on the wall. That one already knows who I am.
Her
And
eyebrow
find
rises.
me.
So you've seen that man before?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know who he is? He just knows who you are.
Yes, sir. I've never seen that man before in my life, except just before we walked over here. So that man knows who I am and knows how to find me and came to find me because he wanted to offer me a job. And the reason stands, if he knows how to find me, he knows how to find the people I love. And you all seem like a fine group of folks, but I don't know if I'm willing to risk all that for some people that I just met, 30 minutes ago.
What kind of job did he offer you?
I don't know. I could find out if you want me to. Says I'll never have to work another day in my life, but I'm not a sellout. I wouldn't work for the filthy heralds.
You've loved
Or how
once.
I'm lost on that one.
You've loved once.
Of course.
Where?
All around. Some on dwellers, some on land, some I do not know where. But I hope to someday.
Reese looks particularly irritated at Mustang.
Why do you look so mad at me? You're acting like I'm being unreasonable here.
It's just, I find it ironic that you talk so much about the preservation of life and the worry for your loved ones, and yet the heralds basically want to blow up the world all over again.
And like I said, what use are we gonna be if we're dead? And the whole point of my concern is so that my loved ones don't get killed prematurely.
Are they in danger?
No, but they could be if I cross the wrong person here or there. Though I do have this tingle of spite in me that makes me want to take this guy down purely just because he thought that he could hire me.
Even from what I'm seeing on this board, this whole place could be in danger. I mean, it talks about some constructs that they're building and some arcane detonations. I mean, they could be, who knows what they're trying to prepare for. We've got to do something.
Does it not frustrate you that your loved ones could just disappear in a moment?
Listen, of course it does. I guess this is just a lot to take in with a bunch of folks I don't know. And I don't think it's unreasonable to just have some time to process it. If you all want to get on your merry way, fine. I will process it here in 5 minutes. But you can't blame me for thinking it's a lot to take in.
Oh no.
Like, I'm a harvester. I'm a wrangler. Sometimes a bounty hunter, but this usually isn't my forte.
Okay, so no, you're absolutely right. Totally fine. Your feelings are valid. I trust Vincent, and I trust anyone that he would send towards us.
Oh. Man, I wish that other blue lady was here.
Which one?
Vince, the other one.
You think she's wise, but mostly she just drinks until she passes out.
Oh, Pearl? The dick?
Sometimes
See,
there's
Maeve
wisdom in the
slowly
bottom
turns
of
her
the
head.
Sorry, the asshole?
Lets out a large sigh.
Well, pretty.
She's
I look
really
like
dangerous
Mustang
with
had
code
eyes
rats,
for her.
too.
Well, I did not realize she was not popular with you all. My bad for bringing her up. I did not mean to cause any
I have nothing,
dismay.
no problems with her. She's sight for sore eyes, that one.
Man, you are hard to get a read on. All right, but this is just a lot. Kippley, I appreciate your patience with me absorbing all this. Reese, I admire your bravery and confidence to be so gung-ho about this. You are truly probably one of the most selfless people I've ever met. And I've only known you for half an hour.
She just sort of awkwardly looks around the room, breaking eye contact with him. And I
What I'm
can't
saying
really
is-
blame you for needing some time to process the information. Like you said, you met us today, and you had plans probably to do other types of jobs. This group is what it is, and so far I've grown quite fond of the people that are in it. I don't really wish anybody harm, and this could lead them to that, but I'm going to do what I can to keep them from it. And I would do the same for you, if you so choose to follow us.
Mustang, he's kind of just once you looked away from him to break eye contact, kind of just put his head in his hands, and he has his hat kind of hanging on his knee, and you do see that he has no hair. It is all just smoke.
Ugh. Disappointed.
I was imagining some Hulk Hogan hair.
Oh god.
I say maybe there's some way we can like mold it into some kind of shape. But he'll look back up and put his hat back on and sigh. Like, well, you do have a point when you say there'll be no one left to love if this thing goes off. So I suppose your point does stand to reason that maybe if there's no one doing anything to stop this, that probably we should do something.
Well, having kind of deciphered what's on the board here, do you guys think maybe we could just turn it in to someone that might be better suited? I mean, not saying that we're not suited for this. I believe we could take care of it, but
But she brought this. She tried to bring this to somebody else, and they said it didn't warrant an investigation. Perhaps if we could dig up more information, we could put together a more solid preliminary investigation to propose to the sponsors or something for more guidance and help. But as is, she told us that they are not going to take the contract.
maybe try to get some hard evidence.
And she looked
Take
over
back.
to Laura, right, Laura?
They did say that they would put it on a waiting list for things to look into since he only really had circumstantial evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how long that list is. They
Well,
said they were
given-
very short on hands.
Right. I think maybe starting with some information about the people that own the building would be good. Laura, do you know who might have that information?
I'm not sure. I mean, you could always go in and ask, but that's a little dangerous. Maybe.
If I may interject, we do have a bit of an in, and he'll hold up the little piece of paper that he was given in the alleyway. I could always try and talk to him. Seems like they want to talk to me.
I would not suggest going alone with these men.
I wouldn't want to go alone. I'm sure you all would be around. We could come up with some kind of signal.
We're just not very good at non-conspicuous activity as a group.
As you look around the room, the man with the metal hand, the woman with the bone arm. You don't have a, fisherman anymore, but now you have a smoke man. Kipley. And Maeve, who's not currently wearing her armor, but very often the most clankety of clanks.
A giant toad, a minion, and a robot monkey?
That is honestly
I have no idea where Bruce is.
And
the
don't forget
least
Minion.
surprising part of the party. Yeah, I say this with all due respect, but you aren't exactly the most inconspicuous bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell you how to do your job. I will just caution you to maybe find a other way to approach.
Reese looks over to Mustang. I feel like you're on to something with this connection, but this is going to put you in the most danger,
Which is not ideal.
which is what I would think you would feel. Yep.
But
Perhaps we
if
can
if
look
it
at
must be
other
done,
avenues first.
uh, I would quite like that. I will not even try to deceive you. I would absolutely love that. But we have a backup plan, a plan Z, and I'll hold up the paper again.
Do
Mammoth is
you
gonna walk over to Mustang and just kind of try to hit him, but like not at all. And I assume his hand goes through Mustang.
Oh, where do you try to hit him?
Uh,
Are you hitting him or are you just touching him?
I don't know.
just sort of
I
like waving
forgot he
your
has
hand
clothes.
through him?
Yeah, he's got. You thought he was walking around naked?
No, I just forgot. Never mind.
Mammoth.
Well, if you do try to touch him in one way or another, your hand will go through.
Okay, good to know.
If you do that though, Mustang will do the same thing to you, and he will like touch your head.
Oh well, no, cause I was just gonna go up and try to swipe my hand to it and be like, you're fine. Nothing can touch you. But then like I would just be like smacking the side of him, and I assume I would get met with like clothes that kind of wobble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, Mustang will kind of just watch you do that, and just let it happen. Seems like he's used to it.
Can things even touch you?
Uh, yes and no. Sometimes they go through me. Sometimes I can choose to have them not go through me. But if someone wants to hit me real hard, it does damage up here, and he'll point to his head.
And
I
magic.
can feel it.
Magic probably has a large effect on you.
Sometimes depends on
Tilt,
the magic. I don't want
tilts
to
her
find.
head as she,
Don't try and find out, please.
tilts her head as she sort of studies you. Yeah, we'll find out.
Oh, I hope that's. We'll find out in a friendly way, and not in a.
She just smiles mischievously.
Oh boy. Well, finding out what our first lead is, I think, should be our priority. Maybe we can find out what hurts me the most later.
She nods her head. I really don't mean you any ill will. I'm more just a curious person.
In the name of science, right?
In the name of science. And she nods her
Is
head
it
knowingly.
bees?
Oh, a Mustang is going to get up and leave.
So do we want to go maybe look over Cassidy's nook?
We could just go get some food.
Wait,
Yeah.
Stake things out. But like maybe in like where sit at different tables with just a couple of us at each table and leave the creatures outside.
Yeah, that'd probably be best. But we might want to leave them. I don't know. Do we want to leave them maybe further down instead of just right outside the door?
Yes. Yeah. I mean that's kind of what I meant.
Okay, sorry.
Somewhere inconspicuous. She just sort of nods her head several times.
And if we have to, I'm sure I could get some information from Lord Bidenstrand. He's got books on everything. So surely he's got some information somewhere about this place. Cassidy's note.
I mean, do you just need someone to go inside?
Yeah, really, it wouldn't have to be all of us. It could just be. I don't want anyone going in alone. Just a couple of us.
Oh, I'm not alone. I could go in.
I don't really know what we're walking into. I wouldn't want to send somebody in by themselves.
I mean, what if I and Rupert went in?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What if me and Rupert went in?
I mean, if that's what we would want to do.
I definitely like to get the eyes on the place. She looks at her bone hand. Anybody got a glove?
Kipling looks at Rictus's hand.
I actually don't have any gloves.
Nah, it doesn't really matter. She sort of like spindles her fingers in front of her face a little bit.
We could just keep our hands in our pockets, maybe. Just the
Pockets.
one hand.
Good man. Hands in her pockets, sitting inconspicuously, eating some food. This is the plan.
So maybe I don't go in then.
You can be the lookout outside. In case the big, tall,
Sure.
blonde man with golden eyes comes walking in, you can give us a heads up.
Exactly. Also keep an eye out for a man with a prosthetic leg.
What?
That's up here on the wall too. One of the guys that he has seen walking around, Chris, was another man that had a missing leg. It was a prosthetic leg.
Kipling's looking over these notes and stuff. What?
There's a lot here. I know.
I'm so sorry.
Mustang's gonna cough loudly to get everyone's attention. Ladies and gentlemen, I
So,
have very bad
before that,
news.
What?
Kipley, as you're talking, and as everyone is talking amongst yourselves, it is almost immediately known to some of you of the higher passive perceptions that as you are cut off mid-sentence, you all look and turn towards her, but you see that Kipley's mouth is still moving.
Damn it.
And you see Mustang's hand moves up to their face. And it looks like they make some sort of gesture, but no sound emits from it.
Goddamn.
As Rictus goes to speak, not a word. It is absolute silence. And the terrifying bit is the explosion that comes next is also completely silent
Oh.
and completely unexpected. As you watch in almost slow motion as a small red mote comes bursting through the back window I would like everybody to please make me dexterity saving throws with disadvantage.
Yeah.
You say dexterity?
Dexterity with disadvantage.
Ooh, that's
natural
not great.
Kipling
Why are there so many nat ones this session?
got a 10.
10.
13 Mustang.
13 for Rictus.
5. Did anybody get above a fifth? No, excuse me, above a 16?
Mm,
I would have if we didn't have disadvantage.
Same.
Well, guess
That's
what
not
you
the
did
right
not
answer.
see.
A bomb.
13, 14, 16, 10, 11, 12. Gotcha. Let me go ahead and make one for Maeve. Which, unless she has actual
not
plot
me.
armor on the
not wearing it.
she is not gonna pass.
She's not wearing her armor either. Oh no.
Well, the armor doesn't do shit for dex saves. She just
Well, I
has a
mean, for later.
0 dexterity. And at disadvantage is gonna be 16.
What?
Damn.
Oh.
Plot armor.
Well, I guess plot armor for tonight. Natural 20, it's lower of the two, so it doesn't matter. But 16 is the DC, so she won't take half. Being
You
the
beat it,
bulky
you beat
son
it.
of a bitch that she has, she might survive this.
Oh,
How many hit points does she have?
Wait, what kind of damage is this gonna be?
Oh yeah, she will survive it. This is gonna be fire. However, you cannot use reactions as you are currently surprised.
damn it.
I still have
I
resistance.
know, right?
from it.
You have resistance, but there is
So-
no reactions that can be used.
No, that's okay. We won't react, but we will eat it for breakfast just a little bit.
Well, I was gonna.
Same.
It's hard to react to something that you cannot see or hear.
True.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a little bit right here. Okay.
Wait.
For
Oh,
all of those that
shit.
failed, that is 42 points of fire damage. For those who succeeded, that is going to be 21 points of fire damage.
Kipling's out.
So we're
I'm
all
out.
dead, right?
Grace is out.
Yep, me too.
Mustang's up.
Oh,
Damn,
Goddamn.
Mustang.
Mustang is up, and
It's
I
got-
believe Maeve is up
probably
as well.
Maeve too.
Maeve's up and Mustang's up, and that's it.
Let me quickly grab.
What
But I
about
will
Laura?
say, Mustang, as one of the few people that is fortunate enough to have fire resistance in the party, you do watch as the moat comes through the window, hits the floor, a explosion of ungodly proportions, which you can take heat as someone of your stature and build. Those around you, however, were not meant for this level of flame. As you watch, the entire house is set aflame. The desks, the papers, your friends exploded, and you watch as Laura, still sitting down, confused, turns and looks at the window, almost staring outside at the rising midday sun, as that is the last thing that she sees
Oh my
before
god.
she is burned to a
Dang.
crisp.
No, bro.
Dang.
Dust.
And the
Dusted.
This is so
entire
bad.
house is left in a toxic black smoke clouding your vision. You can just barely make out the charred corpse that is still sitting down, now in the burning and half melted chair, staring
it.
in that direction. About 30 seconds go by, during which I need to go check, make sure that there is enough time. We're gonna briefly enter initiative, I'm
Oh, boy.
pretty sure this is not going to matter, but just to be sure, in case there's a little unfortunate situations going on, go ahead. Actually, you know what? We'll just go down the Discord order because that's going to save me time. Kipley,
Hmm?
can you go ahead and make me a death saving throw, please? And you can just sauce that in DMs or the channel, or our secret channel, excuse me.
That's just a straight D20, isn't it?
Straight D20.
Oops, that's a D12. And I rolled that wrong
Whoops.
one.
Perfectly fine. All right, Mammoth, could you go ahead and roll me a D20?
Am I supposed to know what it is? Or does it matter?
It's just a straight death saving throw. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay, so your first one is a D12, so 11. That's a success. Okay, that is. Gotcha.
Wait, why did it? Okay, I'm just gonna fucking.
Okay, that is failure.
Can we use inspiration?
If you would like.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's
That
10,
is a
right?
success. 10 or
Okay.
above. How many points do you have left? So first off, you are not looking good. At 11. 36 seconds. All right. Gotcha. Reese, could I have a death saving throw from you as well? Okay. Unfortunately, we do have to do a second round because it does matter in case of people failing a natural one and getting 2 of them in a row. Kipley, however, Maeve will get to you in time for this round. We'll lay on hands you to 1 point, so you are back up. Mammoth, Rictus, and Reese, please go ahead and give me another death save, please.
Wait, what about Mustang?
And if you would like Mustang, you can also choose one person to heal.
Uh,
I ask you do so without looking at any of the public death saves.
no. I'm no cheater. So my question is, with the feature that we discussed with the Harmonica, would I be able to cast Cure Wounds and fire off an additional shot with healing properties into someone else?
What
Yes.
So could I get them both back up?
You can get 2 out of 3.
Okay, 2 out of 3. Kipley's down. Okay. I
Kipley's
guess
back
we'll
up.
bring. Oh,
Kipley's
Kipley's
up
back up.
is Mammoth,
Is
Rictus, and
Mammoth,
Reese at the
Rictus, and
moment.
Reese. Okay.
Can only get 2.
We will get. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to pick.
Roll it.
I say I'll
Yeah.
roll a dice. Reese is 1, Mammoth is 2, and Rictus is 3, and 4.
Reroll?
Yeah.
4
Or
reroll. All right.
or you heal yourself, because fuck that.
There you
No.
go.
4. I say we got a 4, so I don't think he'll heal himself. Reroll. So 1, so that's Reese, and then another 4, and a 2. So I think that was 2 is Mammoth, right?
One
think
is
so.
Wait, hold on, did you say one is
One was Reese.
2 is Rictus, 3 is Mammoth.
I don't know. Does anyone
I
remember
thought
the
it
order
was.
that I originally said?
I thought
I
you
just
said 2 was Mammoth and I was
I
3.
think I did say 2 was Mammoth. So
Yeah.
we'll get we'll get we'll get Reese and Mammoth back up. He'll shoot Reese first for
While you're doing that healing, Rictus, can you
yes.
go ahead and make me another death save, please?
Are y'all seeing those rolls? I was trying to hide them. I didn't know
How
if
many
y'all could see them too.
No,
many
they're 2 DM.
Oh, okay.
No, I could see it.
How
Can you
many
see the
points
public?
was it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, because you're rolling through.
Beyond.
Yeah,
Do I need to do it?
Beyond still shows up in D&D Beyond.
So do it on.
Roll 20 if you can, and just roll the GM.
I don't know if I know how to roll on roll 20.
That's
Thank
fine
you.
for now.
Just do it regular. Okay, I'll just roll.
We're
Quick
just
question.
looking for the natural one in case it comes up. Okay.
Maybe for the sake of time, should we just say that Mammoth is back up, or do we want to hash out how much healing the residual bullets are?
You can just heal twice, and then we can go from
Oh,
there.
okay, cool. All right. So, do I roll Cure Wounds again then for?
Cure Wounds is a D8 at first level, correct?
Yes.
And you have. Let me just checking D10. Yeah, no. It would just be a D8 of healing as well.
Okay, I'll just roll a d8 then. And Mammoth will have 5 points of healing.
Good enough.
Then it's
And Maeve will get to Rictus at the top of the next round. So at the moment, you are all currently stable and barely alive, but also very much now in a burning building. I will quickly narrate what happens next. As those of you who are, as this is all happening and you're quickly trying to bring people back to consciousness, a few shots ring out. Still no sounds are heard from the gun. Maeve rushing across the room trying to heal up Kipley. No footsteps are heard. As the house is now beginning to fully set aflame, and the entirety of both all of the information, unfortunately, the people, as Laura is no longer with us, and as any real leads that were left are being burned. You watch as slowly coming through the window, rainfall begins to slowly cover the building. Don't hear the sound of thunder or storm, but the slight tapping of rain can be heard just as Rictus is brought back. You can hear the smoldering of flames once more. You can hear the crackling of wood around you. And sound returns as you can begin to hear a small storm coming in, slowly beginning to douse any of the flames that were spreading to the external units around it. Do you stay within the building or do you go outside?
Reese quickly gets up and sort of stumbles around to Mammoth and pulls him up. And then pulls him along with her as she goes outside, motioning to Kipley to come with.
As you stumble to the door, the bolts are blown to bits, and you very much have to try and muscle your way through. And eventually, after a few tries, you do manage to knock the door down. And as you pile out into the open street, you can see there's a number of onlookers as all of the other nearby buildings are completely untouched. No sign of any attacker and or weapon. You just see a bunch of concerned citizens watching the house slowly crumple into flame as you begin to pull your compatriots out one by one. and pile out into the road. The house slowly but surely begins to collapse in on itself. Do you take the body with you?
I was more worried about my friends.
Mustang will have grabbed it though, since he doesn't feel like he's in a huge amount of peril in a burning building.
Loris?
Yeah.
Take the body out with you. You find
Why not?
yourself in the open road. And as you look up and around you, it's sunny skies. There's not a single cloud in sight. In fact, as you look around, the only bit of rain that you do see is pouring directly on top of the house. Almost perfectly on top of it.
Can Reese arcane check to see if it's a spell that requires concentration?
Sure, it is a very low DC. Go for it. 23. You know this is not a concentration spell. Create or destroy water can create rainfall, and depending on what level, can go on
And-
for a few minutes to a few hours.
Did you see anybody around that might have cast the spell?
None that you can see.
Okay, roger that.
Can Mustang confirm that this Laura is dead?
I think he said burnt or
You
crisp.
don't need to.
Okay, it's obvious.
It is
All right.
a,
Well, it's just- okay,
it is
is
a
this body,
charred husk of a body.
Oh god.
Well, he'll just leave it where it is then. Once it's outside, he'll just kind of lay it down and be like, okay, that's done.
But as low as it might be, you do see there's a number of gold coins scattered across both the front of the house and inside of it from the pouch that she placed on top of the table.
Reese is just looking down at the body and says, "This will be the raven's roar. Fire blackened skin and fallen feathers there will be. So run, run, little hen, flee, flee." She just says very quietly at the body below her.
As everyone is having their moments, slowly processing what has just happened and going about themselves. As the black smoke begins to rise up, now slowly reaching a height where most of the town can now see. Kipperly,
Yeah?
you watch as a small piece breaks off. Brilliant white eyes. Smile forming within it.
Oh, you didn't do this. She pulls up the lens and looks through it.
You can see that the cloud that is formed above the house has a singular blue thread that is going directly towards the lens.
Right, well, now I'm getting conflicting information. I think you're trying to put out the fire that was lit. Right?
And you hear in your head, "A present for my birthday, girl. May your hunt be short-lived and well-fed, my dear."
Kippley just drops the lens. It just kind of on its chain drops around her neck to her chest, and she just kind of looks at her companions around her. We're still doing this then, right?
Reese shakes her head after staring at the body for a significant amount of time and looks over to Kipley. I am, without a doubt, still doing this. Reese looks at Mustang.
Mustang's looking at the body. He's looking, and then he'll look back at you and he says, Reese, you could have died in there. And you would have helped nobody. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
We could have lived and still have nobody.
Well, you're definitely helping nobody if you're dead. I can't help but feel it's like trying to put out a bonfire by throwing one ice cube at a time at it.
Well, at least there's 6 of us ice cubes.
You know what I mean.
She smiles at him.
Right.
I'm not letting the extreme actions of these zealots deter me from what I set out to do, and that's a measure of my own determination.
Listen, I'm not saying don't do this. I'm saying maybe don't do this now. Because I just watched you guys drop in there like flies, except for her. And he'll point to Maeve with his thumb.
Maeve is just kind of standing in shock looking at the body.
Because maybe next time that happens, all of us go down. And then we're all done.
They got a surprise drop on us.
And they might again. They knew where we were.
Hmm.
All I'm saying is, I think this is a noble battle to fight. And I, just as much as you or the next person, have loved ones I want to protect from these freakazoids. But if that's what they're going to be hitting us with, we won't last very long. We're not going to do much good.
She steps one step closer to Mustang. Who said I was trying to protect anybody?
Listen, I don't know what your motivations are, but I've got people to think about. And a life that I want to live, too. And I know no one's doing any living if they set off that arcane detonation, but no one's doing any living if they get blown up in a house either.
Reese shakes her head at the complexity of the situation, looks around at the aftermath of the bomb. And then she walks sort of... Are the flames dissipated already?
They're slowly dying out, yeah. There's still some smoldering, and like the building is still very much on the verge of collapsing, but there's not like roaring flames anymore.
Can she do a check for components of the bomb?
Go ahead. Sure, go for it. Make me an investigation check. You don't find any shrapnel. Only destroyed pieces that you find are part of the household itself. The impact mark and the delivery system does not quite seem like it was mechanical. It was most certainly arcane. Besides that, you can't really get much.
She looks back over to Mustang and puts up her hand. A literal arcane detonation on small scale like this almost wiped out half of our team, and we may be 5 vassals and a smoky creature of unknown origins. But they scale this up. They have the time to scale this up and detonate it in town square or at the next tournament, and thousands more are going to die.
I do want to correct you. The original arcane detonation hit the entire continent.
Oh.
This looks like it is more of a spell than an arcane detonation.
It's like an arcane pipe bomb.
She knows it's not like
Correct.
exactly the arcane detonation.
Correct. No.
She's using it for dramatic flair.
I want to say, I want to correct. The arcane detonation was a physical bomb.
Oh yeah.
This
Okay.
looked like it was a fireball. Very big difference.
She's just using it for dramatic flair, though.
I think my point still stands. That you're no use to anybody if you're just throwing your body at a problem. Which is almost what we just did, a lot of you, just now. And I'm not saying, no, this isn't something worth pursuing. Of course it is. I'm just saying, not now. And of course, no one's the boss of you. You're the boss of you. You could do whatever you want. But in my experience, having done this for years, we're all in over our heads here.
She looks over a little worried at Kipley and Mammoth. A little bit at Rictus as well. And has like a big sigh. And just sort of stands there taking it in. And she's like, you know, I don't really care if I die. It is what it is. And she looks again at her friends. Knows that she's grown really fond of. But the fortitude of this group, you're right, is low, and I would only hold myself responsible if I got everyone else killed.
Kipley would kind of shuffle forward a bit and like slip her hand into Reese's. I would care.
And she gives a little squeeze on the hand that you're holding.
I don't have much else to care about. So, as cheesy and fucking ridiculous as it sounds, you all really all I have to care about. Except for Pearl, you know, whatever. But if we need to skirt around this, it's fine.
She does a bit of a resigned shrug and of her arm and hand and shoulder and what do you suggest we do, Mustang?
Well, first things first, we need to get among the willows. We need to lay low and get these guys to lose our trail here.
The willows?
Hide. Do you guys have a place you're staying? Somewhere we could get to ever so sneakily?
Maeve,
Maeve looks around.
you doing okay there, hun?
I don't think we should go back to the manor. We need to talk with Vince. See
Reese
where we
nods.
go from here. And she says this all while still looking at the body.
I know a little spot off the beaten path.
That sounds like exactly what we need. It might help to get off the island too, if we can.
Oh, I don't know about that much.
Well, it's a start. Anywhere but here. And what do we do about her? And he'll kind of point with his head over at Laura's body.
Maeve kind of stands up. The authorities will be here soon. If we don't want a world of questioning, I suggest we leave. If we want to try and bring this into a bigger scale, we stay. But if we do stay, and they catch wind of what's going on, there's little to no chance that we're actually going to see the faces of the men that did this.
I want to see their face. I want to look into their eyes as I chokehold them and inflict wounds upon their soul.
Atta girl. I like that attitude.
And you see she looks over and nods. If we hand this over to the council, they'll assuredly blow this up. There's little to no chance the heralds won't hear what's coming. For now, we lay low. We already know where to search next. And she will start walking off in the direction of Garen's Crossing.
Yeah.
Rictus slowly gets up as he's been laying on his back this whole time.
Oh, damn.
Bro really just had the
Yeah.
entire conversation happening around him. Just like
He looks around. He's like, does anybody have a strawberry pastry? I could really go for one right now.
Kibri pulls out her half. Yeah,
you're half of the imaginary pastry.
all yours.
Thanks. I could use some more. Just really craving them.
I'll get more.
Stands up, kind of wobbly. Goes to pick up Rupert as he's not functional right now. Tries to pick up Rupert, but then realizes how much heavier he's gotten. And anyone give me a hand here?
Maeve leans down, just kind of takes both arms, and it does take both arms for her. Pull Rupert up to her chest.
Thanks, Maeve.
Continues to walk.
He follows.
All right. Well, let's go chat up Vince. And he will follow me.
Reese stands up from where she was kneeling beside the body and follows.
You can all at this point hear the sound of alarms ringing. Sound of armored footsteps headed in your direction. I will ask for the concern of time. Would you like to call it here and pick up there next week? Or would you like to carry out the conversation with Vince now? Depending on how we feeling about
I'd
running
like
a little bit later.
the conversation with Vince.
Yeah, same.
I can
It's
keep
too
going.
juicy to quit now.
Yeah, dude, honestly.
I thought you were gonna have us quit after the explosion.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I was
I've been waiting for
very
it.
much close to it, but I was like, we started late. I'll see if they want to keep going.
I've been waiting
I
for it.
love
this
my
whole
dramatic
time.
flair, trust me. But
This whole time I've been hoping I've been like, don't say it, Dom, don't say it.
I know,
don't
dude.
say it."
Me too. I thought you were gonna be like,
Uh,
roll initiative. We'll pick up next week, and I was gonna say
No.
no.
No, I thought you were gonna say like that, like Reese is down, Mammoth is down,
Uh-huh.
Kipley's down, Rictus is down. Okay, we'll pick it up next week. I was like, "Gotta be fucking
I
with me."
am not that evil. I will bomb the house, but I will let you know if you're alive.
Dude,
I'll bomb that.
That's all
Oh,
we can
God.
ask for.
Well,
I'll make you kill kittens and tie up children, bomb houses, but
Yeah.
at least give you a little bit of
Hey.
closure.
You didn't kill the cats, you saved them, remember. You just saved them with violence. Now, anyway.
Yeah, just killed their
Um,
dad.
no, you killed that fucking, the fucking, Sif cat. That cat's fucking dead.
That one's
But
dead.
he was evil, so
oh,
there's not much
kitten
that you can do about
dusters.
that.
Well, I mean, Mustang's never dusted any kittens, so I think technically I am absolved.
That you know what? No kidding. You're not yeah, you're absolved, my ass.
No, I'm not absolved. I'm
Um,
a kitten duster at heart.
as you all make your way through town, a number of armed guards rush past you, completely ignoring the majority of you, as the rain has luckily washed away the majority of soot and any obvious wounds that would have been noticed by everybody as you're walking away from a literal explosion. But as you make your way into the southern end, coming by Garen's Crossing, watch as well, actually, I take it back. Pearl's not there to bring you for the back, so this is up purely to Mustang of whether or not you stop Maeve before she walks in the front.
Oh, yes. We are stopping everybody, and he will lead them to the back.
Okay. You bring them for the back alley, the very same alley where you had your first encounter earlier today. And as you walk into the back, do you knock on the door? Or do you simply try and open?
Are there any signs of anyone in there?
You can't see inside it, it's just a wooden door.
Okay, well, I just meant like any like light under the door or
None
anything
that you
else.
can see at the moment.
Okay. Mustang. His manners tell him that he should knock, so he's going to gently knock on the door.
Tap, tap, tap. About 15 seconds go by. 30 seconds go by. No response.
Okay. Can Mustang pass through the door?
Let me quickly check about that trait real quick. Da. Racial traits is where it's at.
Yes. Up to you, because I don't know.
You 100% could. As you float towards the door, and you just try and like walk through it normally.
Well,
like,
no. First, he's gonna try and open the door. No, first he's gonna try and open the door.
It is locked.
Okay, then he'll take his hat off and try and stick his head through the door.
Boom. You smack your head against the door and meet resistance.
Damn.
As you can pass through normal objects, perfectly fine. Enchanted objects, that is a negative. As you find this door is magically enhanced for one means or another.
Damn. He'll put his hat back on and look back at the group. And he's like, well, this is a magic-ass door.
What about your
Uh,
token, Mammoth?
go ahead and you can give me an intelligence check, though.
Who,
See,
Mustang?
Mustang, yeah.
Oh, damn it. I say, can't have
There's a
someone else
1 in
do
a
it?
million chance.
All right.
Well, more like 1 in 20, but we'll see.
8. 8 is just my number. All right.
Would you like to use inspiration for that, or would you like to?
Why not? What else is going on?
We're about to end the night. Might as well.
Yeah. 7.
You don't think of a single good idea besides to try and go for that door.
Well, he was gonna say, just if anyone else has any ideas to get through this door, be my guest. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go through the front, or we can go to Mammoth's secret place.
Can Reese do intelligence check with stepping up by the door?
Sure.
Maybe.
It's not really related to a general consensus. It's more of
Just.
Mustang's abilities and trying to think of how to use them outside of
Oh,
his
I see.
current use.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I look at Mammoth first. I'm like, can you message Vince that we're here?
No, I already used both of my cards.
And the third one is with Pearl.
I forgot about that.
You said it's like a spelled door, like.
Something is enchanted to the point you don't know whether it's protection, arcane lock, but something is causing it to
Can I?
not allow Mustang to pass through.
I see. Can I get more specifics on that?
You can give me an Arcana check is not going to work here because you can look at a door, but unless you have something to detect magic or have some sort of properties, you are just looking at a door. With all due love and respect, because
Oh,
I
I know.
know that was coming.
I didn't say the words. I didn't say Arcana check. Everything's good. I don't know. Do we just go through the front door, guys?
There very well could be heralds in there. So
If you
we
want,
want
Reese,
to
I'll
run
give
with it,
you a chance to do a normal intelligence check.
The inspection on the outside of the building.
For ideas of what could be used. You're a smart individual. I'll use one for Maeve as well because she's smart as well, and this is up Jared's alley.
I'm also like
She's not
totally up
that
to
smart.
installing that all over the place.
Me too.
How do I get no?
This would just be ignore the actual check. I just needed one that uses straight. Oh wow. Okay. W. Good. So there's some hope.
My intelligence high if you wanted me to try.
No, we got it. 19's good
Okay.
enough.
Okay.
Maeve slowly turns towards Mustang and goes, Mustang, while still carrying Rupert in her hands like a baby. You can move through objects?
most of the time, but something about this door. Wonder if the walls are any
Can
good.
you move through any objects?
Hard to say. I haven't tried to move through all the objects in the world, but I'd hope so.
If the door is enchanted, could you not just try to go through the wall instead?
I say I could try.
It would take a lot to fully enchant an entire building, rather than
Maybe.
just enchant a door.
You know what? You have a brilliant mind, and he'll take his hat off and try to stick it through the wall. His
It
head
goes
through the
right
wall.
for the wall.
Right. He's gonna look around.
You look through the building. This is going to be a perception check. You are going to stick your head in there for a round to do it, so keep in mind the downsides of that.
If it's what must be done.
Okay. You go ahead and give me a perception check, and I will go ahead and give you the damage. You just get to float through buildings for free. Oh god. What is his HP at right now?
10, but it shouldn't be one more than 1d10, so if anything, he'll just pass out.
That was exactly 10 damage.
Yep, alright.
So you look through. What was the perception? What was the perception check?
21.
Good. The entire room is empty. There's nobody currently here right now. You can see there's a few cards scattered across the table. a few chairs out of place from where you previously just were standing, but the room seems to have nobody in it at the moment. Um, and as you go to pull back, your entire body vibrates and shifts, and you all watch as the cloak that is holding Mustang's body together collapses, and just black soot kind of projectile shoots out of the wall onto the floor. Almost like a sad little dust mite for those of you who have watched Spirited Away. A small little clump of
Outside,
what
like
looks
on
like
the ground with us.
coal is
Yeah.
just on the ground inside of the coat.
She's Reese is a little confused with what to do, but she kind of just like goes down and like touches this little black soot and cures wounds on it. She has no idea what kind of effect it would have, but
Go ahead and roll 12 W. You come back
Oh,
with 12 hit points.
sweet.
And you watch as almost like a Cinderella transformation, a little bit of sprinkling soot dust begins to rise out of the ground and reform itself into a prone, funny enough, prone ghost. Um, as Mustang comes back to consciousness, hat still off, smoky form sprawled out across the ground. Uh, if a smoky form could look like it's twisted in pain, it would certainly do so.
Reese leans in while like she's still kneeling down at the prone figure, and she's like, "You're very odd."
Ugh. I try, and he'll put his hat back on and kind of shake his head as his slump kind of collects more and more, and he'll bring himself to his feet. Uh, it's empty in there. I could go in and let us in, or we could go to where Mammoth knows. I feel like maybe it would be safer wherever Mammoth wants to go, because if we get walked in on in there, I can assure you there will be many great equalizers in the room. Thoughts?
Maybe we should go.
You saw a single
Rest
room, or is it just one room
Oh, it's just
inside?
it's just a room. It's like a back room poker
Are there
room kind of
more
thing.
rooms in there that possibly Vince could be in? I'm just curious if he's actually in the building.
Not that I know of. There was well, I mean, okay. DM with a
Earlier,
21
yeah.
perception
Oh, good.
and being in the building earlier. Are there any other rooms connected to this back room, or is it like
Well,
just a single room?
there's no other doors in the room. And you
Okay.
having been in there before know that there's no other. It's only just one room, two ways in and out, one leading into the actual bar, and one leading into the back alley.
Okay.
Vince was in the bar talking with you this morning. You know the room is used for private games and talks.
Mhm.
So just
Okay.
because no one's there right now does not mean that Vince isn't in the building. It just means that the room is cleared to either be used by Vince or it's just currently not in use at the moment.
Okay. Well, the room itself is empty, and there's no other rooms connected to that room, but Vince could very well be at the bar right now. So he did seem a little anxious when we last left him, and he'll look at Mammoth.
Yes.
So I could go in there myself and see if Vince is there and let you all into the back room. And that way it's less conspicuous. No one has to go out in the front. Does that sound like a plan?
I think anything that is quick would be the best option. We've been standing out here as a weird little group, falling unconscious. Beside a magic door is already very conspicuous. Let's get a move on.
All right. Mustang will attempt to go back through the wall, but this time with his entirety.
Sure. As you walk through, you phase for the wall. It is still gonna be a D10, but it's only gonna be half the damage as you walk through.
Oh,
Because we're still walking through a wall. Let's see. Racial traits. 4 points of force damage. As you brute force your way through the wall. You just watch as the body of Mustang almost assimilates into this like vibrating state and just becomes almost blurry and hard to look at and just passes through completely as one. Where you find yourself inside the room.
All right. Well, he is going to examine the door for locks to see if there's any like crazy lock in there that he's gonna have to open, or if he can just unlock it and open it.
You reach for the handle, turn it.
No, he's just looking at the lock right now.
Sure.
He hasn't grabbed anything.
Go ahead and make me a sneak check.
Okay. After the day he's had, I'm sure someone's got like an electrical button hooked up to this thing. I rolled a 6. The dice hate me to the
You see nothing wrong with this.
All right, we're opening this bitch.
You open it as it is unlocked from this side, and you open it into the alleyway. Nothing happens.
Sick. Awesome. He will motion for everyone to come inside. Does everyone come inside?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
All
Once you do,
shuffling.
he's gonna lock the door. And then he will try to fix his appearance in a way that doesn't make a difference because he's a ghost made of coal. And he'll look at the
Clean
group
off the
and he'll be
suit
like,
for
"All right,
only more suit to be on your clothes.
how do I look?" And he'll kind of pose at the group, and then he'll be just like, "I'm just kidding." And then he'll go out towards the bar to see if Vince is there.
As you step out, you can see the bar is basically full. This isn't a huge establishment in terms of seating. You can probably only fit about 30 people in here at maximum, at least on the first floor. And you know, there is 2 floors to this establishment. However, there's about 25-ish people that are currently around the bar at the moment. And as you step out from the back room, without going in that way, you see a few people glance over. None look of immediate concern, but you do see a few people kind of drift their eyes over towards you to at least acknowledge your presence. But go ahead and give me a perception check if we're looking for Vince.
All right, let's perceive. What do we got? A 12. God damn.
12?
Yes.
You look around and you can see immediately around you, you don't see him. And you don't really see anybody that you know or any familiar faces, whether friendly or unfriendly. But now that you've started searching and looking around, you can see that more and more people are starting to turn in your direction. And you can see the bartender, a older looking half-orc, kind of can I help you with anything?
Mustang is like, damn. And he'll walk up to the bar and he's just gonna try and play it cool and order a drink, and while simultaneously trying to discreetly look around for Vince.
If I may be so bold to ask, exactly who are you looking for?
Alright. Just an agent of mine. He was here earlier.
Looks
got
at
a
you up
nasty
and
attitude.
down. You're working this morning. What's this agent's name?
Vince.
You see, he looks around, and as soon as you say Vince, you hear a number of chairs shift as more people now immediately look in your direction.
Took a gamble and I lost.
Why don't you head on upstairs.
All right. No drink then, I suppose. And
No
then
drink there.
he will head upstairs.
And with
And
each creakety step, you just feel the entire crowd watch you go. And you very much remember Vince's words of keeping a low profile. And you've just announced that you're looking for Vince. You know, this is. It certainly doesn't look great. And with his reputation, certainly not great for him as well. As you begin to make your way up the stairs, you can see there's only a few tables up here. You definitely get the sense that this is either some sort of VIP section, or this is a section that you're going to have to pay a whole lot to conserve for yourself. And as you make your way up to the stairs and slowly ascend, you see that there's about 12 tables in total. All of them are empty. And in the very corner, sitting by himself, Vince is currently looks like he is heavily engaged in tinkering on some sort of contraption at the moment. You have literally no idea what it is. But Tinkerer's tools in hands looks like he is not even paying attention to you approaching.
well, he's not in chains, so that's a good sign. But he will approach.
As you walk up and you start to get within the radius, you just hear the cocking of a gun. You don't see one, but you just hear it. And without looking up, he goes, "Who the fuck is disturbing me when I am specifically requesting a do not disturb time alone on my own goddamn floor?"
Oh my God, Vince. It's me, Mustang. It's quite pressing. Has to do with one of the jobs you just gave us.
Hear the click again as he disarms the gun. Oh, what exactly? Excuse me. Which specific job is this pertaining to? And what exactly happened?
So, you know how there was a
Short
greenhorn that
version.
came in with me? This is short, trust me. I do not have the wind in me to make this long. You remember the greenhorn I came in with earlier? Or left with?
Yeah,
The rest of his
Mammoth?
group wanted to do the yes, the rest of his group, there was more of them, wanted to do the herald's job. So we went to Laura to find out more information. Lo and behold, the heralds already knew who I was. They followed us, and we were ambushed. They bombed the house. Laura's dead. And certainly there's an X on our backs now, and if there's an X on our back, there's probably an X on yours too.
See, he stops tinkering. You just say Alora's dead?
She couldn't survive the blast.
Did you see the attacker?
No, but I was solicited by a man, a huge, huge man, 1 inch on me, blonde hair. I think they said his name was Amos.
Do you have any leads of where these men are?
Well, there was a big poster wall that said that Cassidy's Nook was a good place to start, but all the evidence was burned in the fire.
And you're
And,
certain?
I mean, it sounds like you know Laura and her husband better than I do. If you trust his word and his evidence, that's what we saw in there.
And without looking at you this entire conversation, you just hear him go, "Was it quick?"
Instantaneous. I bet the last thing she saw was the sun on the horizon. She didn't even know what was happening.
Your friends?
They almost suffered the same fate as her. But we brought them back. Laura, though, she was too far gone.
I see. Do you know how many? Just one? This man that you mentioned earlier?
There's 3 suspects in total, but I know for certain the one that approached me must be nearby. He's in town.
Described him as tall, blonde gentleman.
If you'd like to call him a gentleman, sure.
Your friends here?
They're in the back room. I snuck them in, though. No one knows they're there.
Alright. Come on. Pockets the contraption he's working on. Walks back down. Heads into a door that leads into a stairwell. Waits for you to walk first. Closes it behind you. You watch as the rest of you hear a trapdoor open as underneath a rug pops up Vince and Mustang. As he climbs up, helps Mustang up, and closes the door behind him. Slides the rug back over. Looks around at all of you. I'm sorry I got you all into this mess. I'm glad to see that you're alright for the time being. If you would like a place to lay low, you can try and have it arranged by the end of the night. If you like to leave the island, I can look for transport.
Vince. Reese steps forward and beside out from around the other guys. I want to find who did this.
That's stand for the rest of you.
Rictus nods his head.
Looks around for individual nods. Looks specifically towards Kipling.
Could we get another card out of it?
I physically didn't hear what you said that time. I'm sorry.
Could we have another card if we do it?
Looks at Maeve and she nods. Before this was just an attack. A suspicion of one of my close friends. I had held out hope I find a group large enough to take on this investigation to help me find them. But apparently they have found us first, and they have come knocking. I lost a damn good friend today. damn good friend. However, you see he pulls the pistol out of the back of his holster. They think that they can do this in broad daylight and get away with it. They have another thing goddamn coming. When it was just me and myself, I was gonna take Laura and I to a safe place. Make sure that she was alright. Then try and deal with the problem on my own. But they have disrespected me. They have disrespected my family. They have disrespected my friends. And they have disrespected this entire island. Looks towards Reese. I know you guys are some ride or die motherfuckers. Looks towards Ghibli. And I do not want to see you guys die. If you want to get out, I'll help you get out. But if you want to stay, I will help you make damn sure these do not find a single ounce of sleep. Will not find a single moment of rest. There is not a corner of this island that I will not scour to shove my hand down the man's throat that did this and pull out what excuse of a heart he has beating in there. Anyone that likes to join is free to follow. I have a few boys who will do anything for me. I'll spread the word. Mustang already informed me. Cassidy's Nook. I pray for the innocent souls that find themselves staying there tonight. That they have the wits to avoid what is about to come. Because nothing's leaving that building alive. Are you with me?
Mustang will look at Reese and then look at Vince and then look back at Reese. You know, with Vince's firepower and all the people he's got, might be enough.
I was never interested in running in the first place. I've done enough of that in my lifetime.
I just want to remind you, as I know a number of you have recently come into your position, even if you may not be goody two-shoes, you are vassals. And this can harm your record. If we do not find them, and your people find us first, I will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. We will all be in trouble. And I will not be able to help you. You could lose your entire career that you have worked so hard to achieve.
And if we do achieve what we're setting out to do?
You could just as easily lose it if they find out about it. However, if it turns out that these guys are heralds, and we can tie them to exactly what happened, you're gonna get chastised to shit. But as long as the job is done right, they won't give a shit. I'd say leave one alive, but that's not on the docket. They gotta speak with death spells, they can use them. Just know this is gonna go on your record. They may not remove vassalship, but there's only so many strikes that you'll get before you lose it. This is gonna be one hell of a strike.
Kipley kind of shifts a little bit. It's my birthday today. Well, our birthday. You don't always get to choose your presents. Sometimes they're just laid before you. Never really had any presents actually, but she kind of looks around at everyone else in the group. I'd like to unwrap this one with all of you.
Well, if not for us, then for Kipley's birthday.
Vince looks around. I didn't know it was the lovely lady's birthday. All the more reason to see that your wish comes true. Yeah. Reaches behind another holster and pulls out another gun. Slides it across the table to you. That'll blow out your candles.
Kipley with a gun.
Master has given Gobi the Glock.
Another master giveth me a flaming sword.
See, Vince looks around. Rest for now. Recover your strength. Tonight, we give him hell.
Yeah.
You watch as he sets down his contraption on the table and goes at the door. Before closing it, you see peeks back. Stay here, rest up. Feel free to use the door that Mustang and I just used. Can call down to the bartender using the bell. He'll come up, take your order, give you whatever you want, anything that you need. Just don't leave this building. I'll be back soon. Closes the door behind them. As you can hear the footsteps slowly walking away, there is an echo almost of what sounds like dozens of chairs shifting away. And before we end the session, excuse me, as you hear the door to the tavern slam shut, you hear 3 shots fired off followed by a encore of gunfire shooting off into the air. As welcome to the Mafia War.
God damn.
Mafia
We
war.
are going to end the session there.
That shit's crazy.
Oh, there was many different ways that could have played out.
Well,
But
well.
oh boy, that was one of them. Hope y'all enjoyed. Welcome to the more tragic part of this story. We gotta see some of the good,
No,
some of the bad. Welcome to the ugly.
I said it's because we'll get the ugly out of the way now.
Yeah, get out of the way now.
Yeah, it definitely won't be more in the future.
At
Smooth
the
sailing.
start of next session, be prepared. You will have time. I will tell you right now. You will have more than enough time to take short rests. You will not have the physical capability to take a long rest in. But just keep in mind you can transfer spell slots and all of that lovely stuff. In case somebody needs it more than others. But any smaller item that is not of magical nature within the equipment list, if you'd like to request it, you can request it through Vince. And I will go ahead and add the special pistol to Kipley's inventory afterwards.
Yo.
Oh, I actually got
I will tell you right now, you did see Vince use it during the tournament. That is his personal pistol, and it does work with charisma because it is made for a bard. So if you would like, that can be used either as a focus or as a gun. Pretty similar to how
Or as a
Mustangs
gun.
work. It fires bullets or it can fire spells. Either way, it adds a few little modifiers to that. But if you have any other equipment or anything like that, feel free to request it. Otherwise, be prepared next session for a little bit of a raid.
with
As
one hit point.
As we're going to war, baby.
Who has 1 hit point?
Kipley.
I have 5.
No. Everyone that Maeve was gonna bring up, she was just putting one laying hands into, so she can put up as many
Okay.
people as possible.
While we're sitting there, can Reese use her spell right now and just heal those two?
If you want to use the spell slot, sure, but you
We're
aren't
about to
gonna
do
have
short
time to
rest.
get them back.
It wasn't going to be
Yeah.
my spell slot, it was going to be my Usher of Souls.
Well, don't we have hit dice?
Which that uses your hit dice.
It does, yeah.
You do not gain that back on a short rest.
But I have them right now.
If you'd like to burn through them, 100% use it. Just keep in mind you're about to go through a battle.
Because if we're doing a short rest, we get to use our hit dice
Your-
anyways, right?
Everyone can already use their hit
Use
dice
their
on
own.
a short rest. If you want to burn
Yeah.
for yours on extra, you can 100% do so.
Ah,
You just
save
won't be
it.
able to do so later during the
Just
battle.
see how you guys are doing later. I'll
Yeah,
check in on you.
that's good. That's
I
good.
would
Good
suggest
call.
waiting for using Reese's, but everybody else can use all of your hit die if you'd like to heal up.
So what did the healing hands give us? Did that just put us at 1? Is that
If
what
you
it
got
put us
healed by
at?
Maeve, it's just 1 hit point.
Okay.
Because she only has a limited amount as a paladin, and using 1 to bring you back up, the smartest decision at the time.
Doesn't she have 20?
Maeve only has 15 at the moment. I believe it actually does go up to 20 for
Yeah, it
this
should.
level.
Yeah.
But on her, she only has 15 because she did not personally update it.
What the fuck?
Okay. So can it be next week right now?
See.
That's what I'm saying. It's only 11
Hey, we
in
got
California.
the Mafia raid, baby. See. This is why I was just like, yeah, you can do the Vince quest line if you want. I try and get everything out of the way first before you do so because it's not that fun.
It's not that fun.
Yeah, it offered you 3 jobs. 1, you go on a week-long trip of essentially like farm ranch style, go
Holy fuck.
protect people while they get resources.
Holy
1,
shit.
nice, good healing, W, Kipley. 1 is private investigators where you investigate some of the most dangerous people on the island. And the other one was a fighting arena, so like it could have gone various different ways.
I feel like Reese wouldn't want to be in a fighting arena. It's just not.
I was
yeah,
thinking
no,
about.
He's got many reasons to do the other thing.
And I just say, like, I just say this at the beginning. Whenever I give you free options, you will be able to complete 2 of them before the task is taken by somebody else,
Yeah.
or it just runs out on the contract. So if you'd like to do one or the other, it's absolutely the protection one is still up and the fall brawl is still up.
So maybe we take a ranching vacation after we destroy.
Maybe
Yeah. Nice.
after you burn down this poor tavern, but
No, it's personal now.
Yeah, it's
for
personal
sure.
now. We're all on board. It's time to. It's time for
I
some.
love the ride or die
Right?
energy here. Literally, like
It's
I
personal
met
now.
this woman. I met this woman today, and guess what? We're fucking going to war over.
No,
Yeah.
it's not personal because she died. It's personal because we got bombed.
Yeah.
I took damage and I didn't like that shit.
The Harlots
You
are
gotta
going
think-
down.
I think a good name for the group
That's
is
pretty
like the Harlots because it's like we're taking the heralds and throwing it, we're spitting it back in their face because fuck them.
The Harlots. Oh god.
Yeah.
It might not be good for brand recognition, but you know what?
Oh yeah.
You guys
facts.
might not want a brand right now just because
Yeah, that's
you're about
true.
to go do some shady stuff.
I mean, it's fine. You're gonna need a name eventually, so the guild can officially recognize quests and shit like that. But it,
This is unofficial business.
yeah. But also, like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not saying for this. I'm not saying this. I'm saying in the future. But also, calling yourselves the Harlots, not great for dyslexic
Yeah.
people.
For dyslexic people.
That one dyslexic guard is just gonna be like, well,
Kill 'em.
interesting that you're telling me this. I'm just gonna turn
Kill
you
on
in
site
now.
orders.
That's an easy 70 gold I just made.
It sounds like harlots too, like we're a bunch of like whores going around
Yeah,
like
that also that.
questing.
It sounds like you're a very confused, sexy herald who
Ghibli-
just doesn't know what they are.
Sexy arrow.
Ghibli and Reese are just going in the back streets.
Dude.
Oh god.
Okay.
Oh, I like how it
Oh my
turns
god,
the happy
concerning
hobbit
hobbits.
movement afterwards.
Yeah, dude.
Going to war, groundbreaking news, pulling out the guns and weapons. Happy Hobbiton. Here I am making my way through the village. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, good
Yeah, but next week
session.
we are 100%. There's gonna be some shit that's gonna be going down.
Guns blazing.
It's gonna be
I'm
guns
fucking
blazing.
nervous.
Almost literally.
For 2 of us at least.
And for
Assuming
those
Kipling wants to
wondering,
use
the
that.
gunfire outside was 21 fire salute.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I
Aw.
figured as much.
Dude, that was so much worse than the kittens, man. Like I said, I was absolved.
I
like,
disagree.
exact opposite.
I said I was absolved right before, and then she blew up. Yeah, a number of you probably could have changed that if you had reactions, but the entire point of an ambush
Yeah,
is that
dude.
you are under the
Please
surprise
damage for
condition.
breakfast.
Even wait,
Yeah.
hold on. No, yeah, I would have been fine because I would have taken 21 damage and still have been up.
A number of you would have been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I
Fuck.
know Mustang was more than happy when I
Some
when I
of
said
us would
fire
have been
damage.
gassed.
Yeah.
Some of us would have been gassed.
Yeah.
'Cause what happens when you feed coal fire? Bad things. But bad things for everyone else.
Shit burns. But yeah, no. That I was when I first introduced the silence thing in the beginning of the session, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna have this like promptly in the back of their heads, but unfortunately there's just I was trying to interject at a decent time during the conversation. Because I did as Mustang mentioned, I did message Ash halfway through that conversation, warning them, as the person said, to just leave the building right now or you're gonna die. And it said, say nothing, leave right now, you're gonna die. And Ash just didn't see it for a while. So I was just like, I don't want to just do this now. So I just waited until Ash was actually saw the message before I went through with it. I was gonna cut you off way sooner.
That's hella funny.
But I didn't want to do it without Ash
say-
knowing and then being like,
Honestly,
That's not
me being oblivious to your messages, I think it was beneficial because we learned a lot from that
You
board
did.
that we
You did.
can
Yeah.
carry
you
with
would have
us.
gotten the investigation board out, but like the planning bit about what you were
Yeah.
trying to do about it would have been null and void. Oh.
Good God, I can't believe that. I was so scared that like that was a lot. I heard 42 and I was like, holy crap, that's like all
Yeah.
of
It
them.
was okay. To be fair, Fireball is one of those spells that
I
can
love
either
Fireball.
TPK or do literally nothing because
Yeah.
there is no modifiers except for this specific class that actually benefit it. So
I fucking love Fireball.
it's great. It's Gucci, but it can also do literally no damage. I say that as Grim, one of my good friends who also runs games, that's friends with both Ash and Jared, almost TPK'd his party by throwing out a normal 3rd level fireball at a very early level, but it rolled almost max damage and it killed
Good
literally
God.
everybody except for me. Because I passed the DC and I lived with 2 hit points.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
God.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where you never can be sure.
That's why I
Yeah.
love Fireball.
You just have to test it. You'd be like, well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Oh, there's that in there.
at this level, it could kill somebody, but we girl boss close to the sun, and we'll find out. And
Girl
luckily,
boss
nobody
close to the
died
sun.
except for the unawakened human that would have died anyways.
Or Laura.
Yeah, even if it rolled minimum
Laura's fate was
damage,
sealed.
she would have been toast.
Oh,
I just realized I didn't give myself. I didn't roll for health.
Oh, oops.
We're just doing standard.
Dude,
I'm pretty
and-
sure we're
Oh,
doing
okay. So
standard.
6. Okay.
Also, lots of emotional development and interesting like character motivations from Kipley today.
I
Yeah,
love,
I
very.
feel like we
the
learned a lot.
Kipley solo RP is one of the funniest fucking
Honestly, it's so good.
not only like talking to yourself, but then it getting like super deep, and then you just going out on people and being like, you know what? I'm gonna make the party my bitch today by being the most absolute chaotic person in the goddamn room. Oh, I love it.
And then Reese was like a heat-seeking missile.
Oh
Out
man,
for
like
those
into
heralds.
Oh
it.
yeah. Saw the
Heat-seeking
flyer with heralds on
missile.
it and said, "I will burn the world."
And we
Kipley
all
went
were
on
like,
that whole
yeah,
monologue,
yeah, that's what we
and,
want
like,
to do.
even I was just like zoning out. Like that wasn't even like all
It
RP.
wasn't
I was
that
just
different,
like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I say,
damn.
did Mammoth even know what was happening when we all got bombed? Was he just like,
I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
this
I
is
was like
happening?
trying to figure out what he would say, and I think he would just be kind of just like nonverbal.
It would just be like, fire.
Mammoth was thinking so hard he didn't even notice the explosion went off. He's
And
just
Rick is
still
with that-
sitting in the same position afterwards, just like, thinker position.
Rick just with that natural 20 on the investigation board.
Yeah,
Like,
oh
yeah.
man.
that just
Man.
like,
It was a sprawling of
Batman
notes.
type
He would have
beat.
not gotten as much as he did if you did not roll.
that was insane. A lot of stuff went in our favor tonight, and a lot of stuff did not.
I will
What
say
was-
it is the stressful point that I do want to have for the notes for next time is that the northwest dock could potentially be / is 100% confirmed with that natural. I'm saying it as I'm giving the normal information. It is 100% confirmed. Another entrance into the Cassidy's Nook.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Is that-
we should tell Vince that.
Yeah, so you can either choose to just raid Cassidy's Nook straight for the fucking front door, or you can try and go for the secondary entrance. Either way, you're probably going to encounter resistance, but one a little bit higher chance of stealth if you choose to try and take that route.
I kind of want to bust down the door in my exoskeleton.
Yeah, then again, you can
would be
bust down the
so
door because you
badass.
will be packing a few extra members with him.
I'm
Go
not
both
very
ways.
stealthy either.
We'll figure that out next week. And Maeve's not also very stealthy.
Jared's going to come back to this and be pissed.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
he
would
missed
be
so much.
He missed one of the fucking best scenes so far.
What's crazy is whenever I rolled the dice for that natural 20, when I'm watching it on the screen, it didn't even roll.
Yeah.
The natural 20 stayed up the whole
just
way,
like-
and yeah, and I just
Wow.
knew at the last second it was
Shouted
going to
out at
roll
you.
over, but it didn't.
Rick that just said, I'm a manifest. Watch this.
Right?
Roll? Nah, I choose what happens.
Would you have? So what would you have done if you just TPK'd all of us, or would you not have set it up? Like, did you fire
Physically,
specifically?
I could not have TPK'd everybody.
I would have
There was
literally like
Yeah.
nicked-
Ash
I would've
physically
perished.
could not have died there.
Okay.
Okay, another
I
question.
also would be so
out of
mad.
curiosity.
Mhm.
If I had decided to just go to this house by myself, would you still have blown it up?
That is a good question. The answer would have been no,
Huh.
because you were not being followed.
Ah, good
It
point.
was
What?
just Mustang, huh?
Yeah.
Or no,
They
Polly
were
too.
followed.
Mustang was
had
the
the eyes on
original one that
Mustang.
was being. Well, originally, remember the reason of why Vince was in hiding was the Heralds.
I didn't know
The,
that.
and
Okay, I don't know if he
just
explicitly stated
just
that.
dropped that at the end of the session.
Yeah, okay, so we didn't
think
know.
Yeah, you guys didn't know the original reason why he's in hiding. He just realized it was because of the trouble he got with the Heralds, and because of Chris and all of them.
It's
He
Harlots.
shut up. I hate it so much. I didn't realize that until the last second. I was like, no, it's hair. Fuck. He was in trouble with them. He was the first one in trouble. He led them to Mustang. They had interest in Mustang because who the fuck doesn't have interest? If you're an organization that likes building technology and trying to build out and branch new things, who doesn't love a ghost man
Shadow
who is
demon.
built of soot and has this strange aura about
Have
him?
him
They
like
gave him
sit
a
in a
card.
bathtub and he'll power things like a furnace.
One of many things that could potentially happen. So that led them to him, and then he led them to all of you, which you openly broadcast on the beach, all of your plans and all of that. Some of
We're
you a
being
little bit louder
sneaky.
than others.
And then you got bombed.
And then you led him right to the address of the woman who was trying to conspire all of this.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, if you chose to select people that would have gone there, that explosion would have never happened. But sadly, here we are.
Mistakes were made.
Cool.
Okay.
It's curious. I like it though. I like hearing the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, what could have
Yeah.
been?
That's how we learn. That's how we're
It
gonna
was
learn
a
our
chain
lesson.
reaction.
Not
No
do it
matter
again.
what, the Heralds would have found out about the party the second that you took the job.
We've also now learned that Harlods is going to be a campaign-long troll.
Yeah.
No.
Just remember who controls the NPC fireballs.
Is it the Harlots?
Damn! Owned!
We know who's dying first.
We should let Dom sleep though.
Yeah.
Good session, Dom. Thank you so
Good
much.
Session. I hope you
Epic
all
moment.
enjoyed.
Fantastic. Yes.
We'll pick up there next time with a whole bunch of explaining to do.
Yeah, poor Jared missed
Yeah.
out on so much. Well,
Please
everyone
let me
had
know-
favorite work.
Please let me know if anyone can't make it to next session, because I want to have at least 5 out of 6 here.
I'll be there.
Be
Actually,
there.
I
I'm
can
planning
do it. I
on
don't
be
see why I
there.
Next
can't.
next
Yeah.
week, right? We're
Yeah.
just doing it again
Yeah.
next week. Yeah.
Assuming nothing terrible and awful happens.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
What?
Yeah, assuming your sister
Super-
doesn't have more tea.
Yeah, oh my god, hopefully not. She's with us this weekend, but you never know. Well, super epic moments from everyone tonight. Everyone had like their
Yes.
own super badass moments. It was an
Great
awesome
session.
session, you guys.
That was
Thank you.
great. Overall, that was one of the I think best solo transitions because everybody had a say and or a cute little moment, and then we had a massive rally one together.
Yeah.
If I could give more inspiration, I would, but physically, 2 is the maximum. So everybody gets refresh inspiration for next session. Like that wasn't gonna happen anyways.
Yay.
But yay!
All
Alright,
right.
gang.
Thanks.